This video is about bicycles and the economy. Most of the content is taken from Elly Blue's book, Bikeonomics: How Bicycling Can Save the Economy. The link to her book is in the description and you should definitely check it out. So there's a big myth that bike riders don't pay for the roads they're using and that only cars are paying for it. So that's why cyclists should ride so not to affect cars, for example, right next to the curb. But actually, cars only pay for 50% of the roads themselves. The rest is paid by subsidies, and therefore ultimately by taxes from everybody. So with the public cost of keeping one car on the street, you could account for 30 bikes. Also, local businesses are a lot better off when their customers come by bike, as in one car parking spot, you can park up to 8 bicycles, obviously increasing the number of customers. Then there's the fact that the real cost of a car is much higher than what you buy it for. And lots of people don't account for that. In the US, people actually spend more money on transportation than they spend on food or rent. And here's the issue. If there's no infrastructure for you to be car-free, and you need a car to get to work, for example, but you or your family don't have the financial means to afford a car, this is a huge impact on your life quality. Actually, in the US, 3/4 of housing is deemed affordable, but if you account for transportation into this equation, then that number reduces to 28% of housing being affordable. Further, building 1 mile of urban highway averages in a cost of $60 million per mile. This is the same amount that was spent on Portland, Oregon's entire bicycling infrastructure. But in the paradigm that we still live in today, building new highways is still political gold, and people love it. There's also the misconception that building more lanes will help with congestion, but actually building more lanes just means more cars. This infrastructure built for cars inhibits you from shopping locally. So rather than walking a few blocks, you'll drive 5 minutes to Walmart, but all your money will leave your neighborhood. Whereas by bike, when you shop in small and tiny stores, you keep your neighborhood alive with the money you spend. Everybody gets to participate in the local economy, and you get to build relationships. On to the big topic of parking. Parking eats up taxable land. In the US, 50% of city space is taken up by cars, either moving or standing. And this is a problem because it increases rent prices. We pay people to drive by subsidizing super cheap parking tickets. And it's a huge opportunity cost of what else could be there, like for example, parks or playgrounds. This is also a health issue. There's so many chronic diseases that are caused by the lack of physical activity. In Copenhagen, there's a biking superhighway built, which costs $1 million per mile, but saves the city $60 million of health costs a year. This is overseen by the same department as the hospitals. And if you look at it like that, sitting is a lot more dangerous than actually being on your bicycle. And that's a skull. This also affects your mental health. Infrastructure inhibits you from interacting with your neighborhood, and people on busy roads are said to have 75% less friends. That means you'll be sad and also less economically productive. We've basically built physical activity out of our environment. Last but definitely not least are the long-term costs for the climate and environment. Transportation is a huge chunk of CO2 emissions and therefore also the perfect spot to have effective emission reduction. So I hope this little video gave you some insights into why bicycling is not just fun, but also actually can have a huge positive economic impact. Thank you for watching.